Box jumps up. Click the word "got it." Should clear it out of the way. I spotlight myself, so I should be big on your screen. And okay, so as you see here, this is if you take the time to get this set up before we start practicing, you'll get the most out of the practice because there will be the least amount of hullabaloo in terms of trying to move a chair over here, move a chair over there. So take the time to do this, please. In the beginning, get 3 chairs, 2 of which pretty high backed is ideal. You've got them on either end. You want them spaced a good amount so that you have some room to play, but also within reach. And then your third chair, you sit and scoot to the front edge of that chair. So you guys keep facing forward. So anytime I turn to the right or the left to show you a side view, you don't need to turn your body, right? But I'm showing you here so that you see that I'm not sitting way back on my chair slouching, but scooting the buttocks forward so you're on front edge. And this sort of forces the body to find zhongjung, or central upright. So as if we don't have any legs for the moment, just think of it from pelvis and those 2 buttock bones up through the spinal column, up through the central pillar line of the body. And we don't want that collapsed in this way. We also don't want to be forcing ourselves too far this way, holding our shoulders all tightly. So we want to find this perfect alignment. Chin usually needs to come just a little bit down. That opens the base of the skull. You feel this tip-top crown of the head, almost like it's floating, almost like it's being drawn up. And then we have our central pillar, our zhongjung. And then one of the best parts about that is that you can then relax. The skill known as chunwan, or softening and releasing, to allow this sort of settling, like sediment settling in a cup of water. Over time, it kind of packs at the bottom. The water is clear and the bottom has all this sediment in the bottom. We can't force that to happen, but we can become still and then allow that to happen. Now, the other part that helps with that is this breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, like a sigh. So you feel with that exhale, this softening of deep places of tension. And then we inhale again, long, smooth, and full, which is sort of expansion, stretching us open. And then out the mouth like a sigh, softening and melting. Let's do that about 8 more breath cycles.
Do you want my phone?
You say?
You want my phone?
No, I have my phone here.
Buddy.
Does your phone need to be plugged in?
Three more. Now, slide hands and elbows and shoulder blades back. Lift your chest and lift your chin up, arching. Slide the hands forward now, past your knees till the elbows lock. Hollow the chest, round your back, and drop your head. Let's do that a few more times. Inhaling as you slide hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back. Arching. And sliding hands till the arms are straight. Hollow the chest, drop the head. And again. Two more. Come back to neutral. And rotation, slide your left hand forward past the knee, your right hand back, elbow back. Turn the shoulders and turn the head to the right. Switch. Turning all the way to the left. And then turn. And turn. And we're doing this just to loosen up these deep places of stiffness, stagnation, immobility, softness, these places that have become stuck. And so when we just gently coax the body through its movement mechanisms, and we do it regularly, that's the key, is doing this every day, just like you brush your teeth, just like hopefully you floss your teeth, right? There's just certain things we do all the time, we do every day. This treatment of our body and brain, frankly, is as important, if not more important in some ways. Now we're back to the middle, hang the arms, we softly lean. Let the left wrist float up and empty left foot. Feel that tilting, leaning, and then switch. Lean. And then switch. And switch. 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 Right? Because this is as much food for our brain. These movements are being registered, tracked by the brain. So your brain is having to deal with, whoa, we're all the way over here, and then we're all the way over here, and the brain is using that information. Let's go ahead back to center. And hands on your thighs. It's using this information that we're feeding in through what's called the sensory nervous system, right? So the nervous system has its outgoing messages of lift your hand, right? So that's you telling your body to do that. But what is also happening is there's information that's being fed back as you move your wrist or you turn your head through the ranges. It's receiving that information. So we're sort of feeding the brain via the nervous system by moving through all of these pathways. And again, there's places in the body we just don't even know exist because we don't move them. One of those is often these shoulder blades, whereas by now you probably, with your work with me or some other people, you understand that. But we got to do it regularly. Shoulder blades spread apart, they lift. They squeeze back, they slide down, they come under. So a lot of times this movement is limited by the brain's ability to control it. We all know how to shrug our shoulders up. A lot of times we're stuck in this state. One is higher than the other, or both are up, but we don't know how to spread them apart on the back. That's called protraction. And then lift, and then retraction, and down. So we're working the volitional control aspect of the brain and body, but we're also feeding the brain this awareness of, oh yeah, okay, there my shoulder blades go. Let's go ahead and reverse that now. Back, up, over, forward, down, under, back, up and over, down. And then also this net result, or this, I would say, a unique insight by the Taoists that our end goal should be sung, a technical term meaning soft, supple, pliable, juicy, plump. That's what we want to be promoting through this body, not harder, stronger, but stronger in the sense of pliable, adaptable, fluid, right? And that's an important distinction that the Taoists really highlight as the key to regeneration, rejuvenation, longevity, lack of pain, athletic prowess in terms of being in our older years and feeling light on our feet and agile and grounded. It's this song, it's this softness and suppleness. Bend your elbows. We go out and up. And then we come down and wrap around and squeeze. And then down, out and up. And down, around and squeeze. One more. Again, freedom of movement. Elbows back, down, forward, up, forward, down, back, down, forward, up. And keeping in mind, we are in a balance and walking class. So why are we spending so much time doing this work? Well, one, it's just a basic, benefit to the body to make sure we get all these parts moving. But pause here, elbows out, one above, one below, cross and hug, and out, and switch. But this saying in Tai Chi, top empty, bottom full. And the problem is we often are top full, meaning we're holding muscle tension in our chest, shoulders, upper back, neck, throughout the torso. We're sort of grabbing on. Go ahead, drop and drop, loose. All right, let's get our lower body here. Scoot back. We load, push, load, return, and then switch. Load, push, load, return. So this first stage of what we're trying to do is empty the top. Empty neck, skull, chest, shoulder, this whole area that we tend to be kind of stuck and stiff, and we empty that. Load, push, and we allow this settling quality. But then this gives us the feeling also of bottom also we have to allow to be soft and empty as well. It's not that we want our bottom to be stiff and rigid, because we also need mobility. But firstly, we got to empty the top, letting the bottom fill, and then we even empty the bottom all the way out so that the whole body has a lightness and a nimbleness. Right leg out, point foot, flex foot. So we're loosening up ankle, foot, toes. Invert tilt, evert tilt. Circle, in, around, and out. And out, around, and in. And switch feet, point and flex. Invert, tilt, evert, tilt. Tilt in, tilt out. Just making sure there's nothing stuck in there. And then circle. And reverse. So the dental concept is a good metaphor. Plaque on the teeth, plaque in the body. Plaque in our teeth, if we floss regularly, if we do this type of movement regularly, we keep it at bay. It builds up, we keep it at bay. It builds up, we keep it at bay. But anywhere where we've allowed a plaque buildup and then we never move it, usually injuries or just as people age, they just stop moving in interesting ways. That area becomes more like what's called tartar. And if you know anything about tartar, it's just buildup of plaque to the point where it then changes consistency and becomes very, very rigid, very stuck. And our body has some of that. And so all these movements you do regularly, you start to wash it away, clean it out, right? So as I say, the regularity of small dosages throughout your day is really the way. Now, hands on thighs, we hip hinge and fold, and then sit vertical, and then lean a little bit back, and sit vertical, and then fold, and vertical, and lean. Let's do one more. And vertical. Now, an important part here, hang your arms from this chest shoulder area that we've hopefully gotten some loosening. Swing your arms up and then just drop them, let them swing back and then up again, and then swing back and up. So this feeling, noting that you do not have to hold your arms on your body. That sounds funny, but we are doing that. We are holding them. So get this sensation that you do not have to hold your arms, and now just let them come to stillness by your side, very loose. Then swing your right arm forward, left arm back a little bit, and then swing, swing, swing. Let this cause a little bit of a turning at your middle pivot. Swing, 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 swing. And then release. Now your feet, pick up your right foot a little bit and then set it down as you pick up your left foot. Tap your feet on the ground. And pause. So now feel that your feet, although they're touching the ground, they're not really the primary support. Your primary support is coming from your chair. You're going down to the earth. Your feet are kind of there keeping some balance, like buttressing, but they're not really the conduit for our body weight. Now as we slide the feet back a little bit, stay loose in those arms, hip hinge just like we did. Look at my shoulders, arms, and head in relationship to the ankle. If I get them in front of the ankle, that forward direction is key. Now getting out of my chair is no problem, and I still haven't tried to stand up. All I did was really go forward, and then it's just push through the earth, and the body just straightens out. And you want to feel as though the body weight stays down there. Rather than how we often come up, we get a little scared and we pull our arms back on our body and kind of prepare. Sometimes people hold this, or they put their hands behind their back, or we do something. See if you can drop all of it. Just drop all of it. You have a chair behind you for safety. You know that you can kind of in case of emergency, the chair is there, right? So we've got vertical, but we don't have any tension, ideally. Stay loose and sit down by staying loose and just sticking your butt back. Arms hanging, shoulders in front of ankles, butt behind the ankle, right? So the ankle is the middle of my body at the moment. And then back into your chair. And your feet are empty again. So then we stand up by folding forward. is the direction. Then push through the earth and rise. Tall, yet very loose, very relaxed. Sitting down, folding, sinking, sitting back. Let's do that one more time. Fold, up. Now, don't sit in your chair, but do this little accordion squat. I've been using that idea. Like an accordion, the instrument, the way if you took an accordion, turned it on its side, and left one end on the floor, and then closed the top and went up with the top. We want to feel like that with being soft. Just let the body fold and then rise. And just do that a few times. The softer, really challenge yourself by saying, I'm going to stay relaxed. So you don't have to get all the way down. You might only get to here, and then you feel your body sort of tense up. That's fine. Or maybe you can get a little lower, a little lower. Eventually, you might get to touching toes or even touching floor. And then you rise up, and we just polish out those places of stiffness, right? And we just kind of melt, 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 melt. And then rise. All the way out. Loose. All right, let's stay loose. You got a chair on your right side. Step in front of it and face it. Fingertips touching it lightly. Now your feet. You have more foot in front of your ankle than behind, right? That's just how the foot is built. So here we can tip a little bit more into the toes. You see my body, I'm creating a diagonal. And then back. Now when I go to the heels, I don't create a corresponding backward diagonal. In fact, very differently, arms have to stay in front. My middle goes back. Now I'm in my heels. And then toes. And then heels. Toes. Heels. Now we add to this. Hands on the chair for this one. Toes and lift your heels up. Down. Rock back to the heels and pull your toes up off the ground. Use the chair for safety, please. And then rock into your toes. Lift your heels. Down. Rock back into your heels. Pull those toes up. One more time. Lift. And rock. Good job. Now we go hands, heels of hands on the chair, walk back. Stick your butt way back and fold at the hips and try to get this stretch to your low back, your hamstrings, your shoulders. And then rise up, chest up, hips come forward. We'll do that one more time. Stick that butt way back, folding in half. And hold. And lift the chest up. Walk forward now. Right in front of the chair. And then stand under your own power. Turn and face forward. And take a step back. So the chair is in front of you and to your right. Turn your right foot a little bit out. Change your weight into your right foot. And put your left foot out in front with the heel touching, toes pointing up. Left hand on your left thigh. This hand on the chair for balance. Once again, stick your butt back. So we hinge at the hip crease. Slide your left hand down to the ankle, maybe even to the foot or toes. And then come all the way back up to standing. Again, hip hinge. Right? You might get just hand to knee or hand to shin or hand to ankle. Someday hand to foot or toes. And then back up. Now, if you feel very balanced and this feels unnecessary, then this hand goes onto your right knee as it's kind of bent. So you use this as your shelf. And you fold and bow down. And then rise all the way up. Two more. Fold and rise. And again, if you're doing it right, you're doing it with softness. You're not forcing, you're not grabbing, you're just sliding and gliding, smoothing. It's like there's this term in the fitness world called body sculpting, where you're like using weights to try to sculpt out, bigger muscles and this and that. But the way I see what we're doing here, it's polishing. So we're not trying to add on, we're trying to polish out what's in the way, what's extra, right? One more time. So just keep that in mind as you fold, you're just sliding, hinging, allowing all the parts to just loosely relate to each other in a state of ease and relaxation. Now, right hand on chair again, shift your weight into this left leg, and then take your right leg behind you and kind of lift it a little bit. Use your butt muscle and hamstring just to get the leg lifted slightly. And then hip hinge and dangle your left hand down like you're trying to pick something up off the floor. And then come back up to standing. Again, we're moving from our middle, from belly, hips and groin and low back. This is our middle pivot. Hand on chair for safety. And again, teeter-totter. See if you can execute this with softness, with ease, so that we learn to just not have a bunch of extra activity, which to me is why Parkinson's and Taoist movement are a match made in heaven. Because what I've noticed with dyskinesia and gait issues and sort of slowness of movement, all those symptoms that they describe are in a way deleted, dissolved when we find this Taoist free movement. We just go, oh, I don't have to work at it. I just fold and then rise. And so speed can come back to your movement, not because you're hurrying up, which Parkinson's doesn't allow, but because you're dropping all the internal boundaries and conflict, and you're able to just go, da da da, easy peasy, right? And so let's really keep an eye on that idea, that emphasis that the Taoist movement has. It's just on making it easy. Let's switch sides. So we come over here. Now again, we're standing close to the chair, a little bit behind it. So the chair's in front. Turn your left foot out 5 degrees or so. And then put your right foot out in front, heel touching. Right hand on the upper right thigh. And then we just hip hinge. So remember, just soft, just melting. Just go as far as you can today while being soft. And if you stay soft on the way down and the way up, the next time you might get a millimeter more range. Just soft and easy. Right? In our culture, no pain, no gain. Well, I guess that is true because even when you're going soft, you're running into your brittle spots. But how we usually translate that is effort, like more effort, more force, more willpower. Instead of relax all of that and then just patiently and persistently just kind of ease to the edge. Let's do a couple more. If your balance feels like it's working, take your other hand off the chair and have it resting on your thigh, hip hinge, and rise. Just everything easy. Everything easy. And then finally, we got our shift into your right leg. Left leg behind you, butt muscle, hamstring muscle, tone to lift the leg. Then we just teeter-totter like a seesaw, dangle the right hand down, and then back to standing vertical. And again, teeter-totter, and rise. Teeter-totter. So ideally, at the end of your Tai Chi practices with me, and someday hopefully you're doing them with the videos on your own time, what you find is that, oh yeah, all day is a Tai Chi practice to see if you can do all your daily functional activities with this state of ease. let's move over to the other side again. So return to the first side. Standing a little behind the chair, it's out in front of you in case you need it. First exercise, drop the arms, everything's relaxed. Currently, we'll call this being double weighted. We've got equal weight going down both legs. Usually, people tend towards one leg. So just take a second and notice, do you tend to rely more on your left leg or your right leg? Doesn't matter which, but notice, do you do that? Many people do. And especially with Parkinson's, right? You have your Parkinson's leg and your non-Parkinson's leg. But what I found interesting working with people is their Parkinson's leg is the one that they use for stability when standing sometimes, right? I think that's because it's stiffer and more rigid. So then we come to find that that gives us stability. But again, we just want to see, okay, are we doing one more than the other? And then we play with a little more in the right leg. So the left leg becomes lighter, emptier, and open. And then we change. So it's more into the left leg as the right leg becomes a little emptier. And I'm very specifically not lifting my heels off the ground or anything. I'm not picking up a heel. I'm not yanking the leg up. I'm just finding how to allow the body weight to pour through one leg and come out of the other. And then how to let it pour back through that first leg and come out of the other. So your high achievement in this one would be, I don't know if you can see it, but as I go into my left leg, this is my right, but I'll say left, this foot is empty and I can do this. You see what I just did there? I'm swiveling and I'm turning, not just from the foot, but from all the way up here in the hip, because it's empty. And the only way this is empty is when this is actually the only leg I'm using to connect me to the ground. And then we change. So now I get to the point where this leg's got all the support, and now I can swivel. I can slide it forward. I can slide it out, right? Because it's empty. There's movability here, mobility. And then we change. So if you can get this skill, all the other practices become available. And this is the one we overlook because it's so subtle. It's just this 100, 0. 100, 0. And actually getting to 0, don't assume you're there. You usually aren't. You're usually 80-20 or something like that, 90-10. Now, as you have your weight through your right leg, lift your left heel. Ideally, if this foot were empty, you'd be able to get all the way to the very tip of the shoe, not just on the balls of the toes, but at the tip of the shoe. And then the heel, put it down, change your weight. Now, once this other foot's empty, get to the tip of the shoe, right? Tip of the shoe, down without any body weight, change. Tip of the shoe, down, change, right from your middle pivot, tip of shoe, down, change. Now we go up a level, hand on chair as needed, tip of shoe, disconnect. Reconnect the whole foot with no body weight, change. Tippy toe, disconnect, reconnect, change. Remember softness. Soft. Soft is scary at first because we have to allow this softness in our sturdy leg. And at first we go, how can that be stable if it's soft? But the reality is it is. It allows the mechanisms to work correctly rather than when we jam everything up and grab onto everything, it doesn't really work correctly. And then finally, we go up that final level of tippy toe and all the way up. So here, please do use your chair so that you can maximize this range of motion. As high as the knee could possibly go, get it there. And soften the leg long, 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 long. Connect it to the earth with no weight. Then from your middle pivot, change. Tippy toe, lift, go all the way as high as it can go. So use your chair to keep you safe is you get this knee all the way up and then soft and long all the way down, change. So again, if you can get this one exercise correct, this is the fundamentals, the building blocks or foundation, let's say, foundation of any other movement you'll ever do. This putting the leg down with no weight, connecting down to the earth so that this is free and loose, which gives us our postural alignment as well, gives us the safety we're looking for. All right, now put the weight in your left leg, put your right foot in front, heel touching. So I like to turn a little bit at an angle so you guys can see some of the angles, but you just keep going forward. Please don't turn your angle, just keep facing forward. Now, shift. So now we're moving forward in space and backwards in space. We're not leaving the ground. The heel or the toe stays touching. And the illusion of forward and backwards often gets us to where we start thinking backwards and forwards, and we get over our skis in either direction. So keep the idea that it's just down and down, 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 down. Level 2 of this exercise. So you're in your back leg, front leg is empty from the hip, lift, lower. So that's a test. If you do that and you lurch your body back, this wasn't actually empty. So you might need your chair, but lift and lower, and then we shift down. Now this from the knee, just like a little flamingo, and then toe down. And then we shift down, and this is empty so it can go whoop. Light as a feather, especially over time. The more you practice this, the more you empty the limb, the more it floats. Floats. And then the whole body starts to feel like it is floating a bit. There's a plumpness, a buoyancy, a juiciness available. That's level 2. Let's go level 3. Hand on chair, we go all the way up. Down, heel touch, shift. And then we go this leg, forward and up, back, shift, and then up, down, shift. As the weight gets to the earth, this is free to go, whee. All right? The more relaxed we are, the less extra weight we're carrying. And especially when we have weight up here, it's like we're carrying weight up here and it makes us top heavy. But when we empty that out, we're just connected to the earth. Connected to the earth. And we're agile and loose, right? Let's switch sides. Side step. Put the weight in your right leg, left foot in front, heel touching, level 1, where we just... So this one's important because the next 2, you might need your hand on the chair, right? Because you're picking a foot up off the ground. But this is the one definitely you want to practice no hand touching anything, learning how to actually come to rely on your legs. So even if you're someone using a cane, using a walker, right? Usually you can do this with no hands because we're not leaving the ground. It's a great place to get this chi pump, blood pump thing happening where one leg active and one leg passive, and then switching leg active and passive. Level 2, hand on chair as needed. Lift, lower, shift. Then like a flamingo, just a little whoop, and shift. And then from this hip, this empty leg, just float, shift. And then from this empty leg, the knee, we just whoop. So there's a saying in Tai Chi, the mind mobilizes the chi mobilizes the body. And at first that sounds kind of just like an interesting idea maybe, But when you start finding softness, you realize that's actually the case. So I don't have to grab onto my leg and pull it up with force. I just say what to do and it does it. But there is this soft quality that first you have to cultivate before it can just go, wow. And there's a instantaneousness, a swiftness. Let's go level 3. Hand on chair, lift, loose, empty, relaxed leg, down, shift. Now this one's loose and empty, so it can just go forward and up, and reach back without any disturbance to your equilibrium, shift. And then it's whoop, whoop, shift. Forward and up, back, shift. Just loose, relaxed, easy as can be. And switch sides. Put the weight in your, first make sure you're a good amount back from that chair, so the chair is in front of you and to the right. Change your weight to your left leg, put your right foot in front. Level 1, ideally no hands, but use the chair as needed. We shift. Now pause here where you've got this empty back foot and then just swing it forward and go heel touching, still empty, and then shift. And then shift back. This foot being empty, just step it back, toe touch, shift back. Shift, down, step, down. And then into the back leg, down, step, down. From your middle pivot, change 100, 0, step the 0, and then make that one a 100, 0. And then 100, 0, step, 100, 0. Again. So finding the ease with which you can move forwards and backwards. Let's go level 2. Chair as needed. We lift, lower, shift. Now there's something on the floor. Pick the foot up, float it over top, bring it back down, then shift, and then little flamingo of the back foot. Shift, up, tuck, reach, shift. From the hip, lift, lower, shift. Empty foot can float over the obstacle, can touch to the ground, still empty. Then you decide to make it your connection to the earth. Knee bend, toe down, shift. Up, tuck, reach, shift. From the hip, shift. Shift. And finally, level 3, up, down, shift. Now this sort of exaggerated, heel to butt, knee all the way up, foot floats out, lower the foot, all while not putting any weight into it, then shift. And then this leg all the way up, all the way back, toe finding the earth, shift. And then this one, up, tuck, reach, shift. And then up. Let's do that twice more. Shift. So we're just increasing range of motion, space, interior space, which is what gives us a feeling of calm, gives us a feeling of balance, gives us a dissolving of that fear that's usually in the body when we don't feel very balanced. We're kind of in a state of low-grade caution at all times. But as we free up all these limbs and allow ourselves to find this middle, then we go, oh, okay, I don't have to be so on guard all the time, right? Switching sides. Step here. Level 1, This is the best one to do no hands. We've got weight in the right foot, your left foot out, and just shift. Wait for it to be empty. Step it while it's still empty. Shift. Shift back. Step back. Shift back. And again, shift. Step while it's empty. Shift. Shift. Step. Shift. Casual. Leisurely. So, Alexander, if possible, notice how your hands are on your chairs and your shoulders are really high. For this first exercise, see if you can, no hands. You know your chairs are there, but try to get no hands on anything and find your connection to the earth. Because the more we rely on those outside items, and especially at level 1 of every exercise, that's key. Because this is, low risk. Now, as we go to level 2, you might just go fingertip on a chair. So you don't want to lean onto it with all your weight. Just a light touch, call that psychological support, right? Just knowing it's there. We go lift, lower, shift, and now it's up and over a small obstacle, and then shift, and we go flamingo, down, shift, up, tuck, reach, shift, lift, lower, shift. Someday you might try this one, no hands. And again, it's the patience to get it right. It's the slowing down so that you go, okay, 100, 0. And then the patience to wait until you truly get all your weight through this leg before you try to pick the foot up. And then the shift, and you don't rush to pick your foot up until it's truly empty. So it's that slowing, which is the hallmark of Tai Chi, that eventually opens the door to instantaneous and swift movement. We got to slow down, connect to the earth, really start to get a palate for what full and empty actually feel like, for what song actually feels like. And finally, level 3, hand on chair, we go up, down, shift, and then heel, knee, foot, down, shift, knee up, back, shift. Focusing how the down gives us the ability to have a safe up. The down gives me the ability to safely lift, safely lower. The down gives me the freedom to move this limb. The down allows for this. The down. The down. One more. Move to the left side of your space. Turn and face down the runway. Your chair should now be on your left. Put the weight in your right foot, left foot out, level 1. Shift. Step the empty foot. Shift. Step. Shift. Shift. Reversing. Be safe on the reverse. Remember, it's not backwards, even though we're moving backwards, it's down. So the empty foot goes behind you, and then you're thinking down to the earth. That down through 1 liberates the other foot so that it can step, and then it's down through that foot, which liberates the other foot, and then down, and then down. Let's do that again. Either going as slow, or you can start to blend it, make it just flow. But still have in your mind 1 empty, 1 full. Going backwards, be a little slower, a little safer. Toe touches, shift. shift. Stay loose, stay connected, down, 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 down. And then lastly, you can do level 2, lift and lower, shift. And we go over an obstacle with each step. Shift, wait for it to be empty so that it can safely float over the obstacle, and then down. The empty foot is free to move, down. Empty foot free to move, down. Reverse, it's even more important to focus down. As you lift that foot, step it behind, stay down through your full leg, then change down. That moving foot going behind, stay down, connected to the earth through your standing leg, and then down. Down. Alrighty, turn, face forward. Change the weight into your left leg, right foot empty, step out and in. Now the key to doing this one correct, the feet matter, but what we're really working on here is this quad. So we've got our thighs coming up, they plug in, we've got our pubic bone and pelvis genital area here. This junction, the inguinal crease, is a key space to be cultivated that for many people is sort of stuck closed. Okay, so change your weight to your left leg, step your right foot out to the side. Now, most of the time when I have people do this, they either do one of two things. They take the foot out and they point and they reach the toe, which doesn't actually open this quad. Or they step and the weight goes with the foot, which again doesn't open this side quad. So the key here is you sort of lead with the outer heel. So slide that foot out, put the foot on the ground, the whole foot touching the ground. So if I turn this way, you can see I'm not up like this. My whole foot's on the ground, but my weight is staying here. So then this right quad opens, and then bring the foot in, right quad closes. It stays empty. Open, step it out, get the whole foot on the ground, including the heel. Bring it in. Out, in, out, in. One more, out. Now, keep that foot out. Feel how right quad is open, left quad closed. Now, shift to make this leg your full leg. Make sure this heel stays on the ground. So don't pull the foot off the ground. Keep it down. And that opens this quad. So let's just shift back and forth and find closed quad, open quad, and then closed, open. Closed, open. Heels are staying down, feet are staying down. So we're buying the real estate from somewhere internal, from internal mechanics, internal spaces, internal relationships. Now stay in your right leg, left quad should be open, bring that foot in, and then back out. Stays empty. In, out. Remember the heel has to be on the ground. In, out, with the heel touching. In, out. Because the more glued and stuck our tissue and joint relationships, the more we get pulled clumsily through our movements, but the more we have interior looseness and space, what they call dynamic separation through all the parts. Now, keep your feet all the way together and then change to the left leg, change to the right leg, change to the left, noticing I'm in my right, but I'll call my left. This foot is empty. And then just change. Now this foot is empty. For most folks, because when the feet are this close, we feel so unstable, they can't change weight because there's no lateral movement available. But this teaches us how the down is the key. The softening of all the joints through the hip, the knee, the ankle, the foot, the toes, allow empty and empty, right? Now, finally, let's side walk. So weight down through your left, right foot empty, step it out, opening this right quad, and then closing, opening, bring that foot in. Feet are together, change. So now you're in the left leg, right foot is free, step. Change, weights down through the right leg so left foot can step. Change, weight down through left leg so right foot can step. Down through right leg so left foot can step. Down through left leg so right foot can step. Change. Let's reverse. Come in, come out. Change. Change. So the stiffer we are, the more we have to do funny and not so well aligned things to find this freedom of movement. If we're stiff, we kind of lean and then we clumsily put it out and then we kind of lean. And if you think of it like a boat at sea, it's kind of listing and it can tip over. But when we have this interior space and softness, then we're moving across the room, but inwardly there's a quality of stillness. So there's this saying, wearing the moon like a cap. I think it's more valuable to say a cappuccino cup filled to the brim sitting on top of your head, you don't spill it because you're just gliding across. Let's do that again. And we're just gliding and we're just changing which of these two legs is the conduit to keeping us supported. Side, side, change, change, loose, free, relaxed, casual, and how that then leads us to mobile, freedom of movement. It also keeps us in a relaxed state, which is another piece of the Parkinson's puzzle, is stress. Everyone should be in a state of low stress, but a lot of people can stay very functional and be highly stressed, right? Until something breaks. But with Parkinson's, that fight or flight nervous system has to be adjusted. So now let's do our advanced Tai Chi movement here. So step wide, shift your weight to your right leg, turn from your middle pivot, sweep the hands across. So if you've been coming to our Friday class, you know this one as the bear washing paws in the stream. So this is kind of the upper choreography. It's the simplest of the Tai Chi movements, right? We're doing a brush knee followed by a sweep leg, and then it's change jobs, brush knee followed by sweep leg. Now, shift and turn, brush and sweep. Now your hands stay over here to your right, your left foot should be empty, step that left foot in. Now remember, we already defined that we can change the weight to this leg by going down. So we change the weight to the left leg and turn and brush and sweep. Right foot should now be empty, step. So where are the hands, Alex? Where are my hands? There you go. Now it's shift and turn and brush and sweep. The hands stay over here. This leg is empty, this quad is open, and we step in. Now we shift into that left leg, brush and sweep. Notice my feet are still together. I didn't step wide. Brush and sweep. And then we step out. Shift and turn and brush and sweep. Step in. Shift and turn and brush and sweep. Step out. Shift and turn and brush and sweep. Step in. Reverse. Step out. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. Step in. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. Step out from our middle. How's your cappuccino cup doing on your head? Just keep a soft awareness that it is possible that this is kind of still quality running through you, even though all this movement is occurring. You're traveling through space, you're sweeping and stirring the space around you with the limbs, and yet inwardly there's unbroken stillness. There and back one more time. Those of you who've been coming to Friday, you can add into it the bear swirls the stream, which is this bigger circle with that hand. It goes out in front and then comes in close. You can also do the swap the fish where the hand is higher. You can do the high jumping fish, which is off screen, because I'm really focusing on showing you guys the lower. But again, if you come to Friday, you'll be able to add these movements because they'll be familiar. And again, what you'll notice is, or what I notice when I'm working with people is chaos. When you try to find flow, at first there's chaos. But if you see how I look while I'm doing it, there's no chaos. There's freedom of movement. There's looseness. There's a precision that's only available when we're relaxed. And finally, hands together, rub your palms. Rub the back of one hand, palms. Back of other hand, palms. Qua. Just to make sure they feel soft, relaxed, open, spacious, plump. Hip flexors, so there's not a bunch of tension. Tail, sacrum, lumbar, low back muscles. And then like we did our Tai Chi squat, slide the hands down, come around to the inside, slide up to the navel, qua, hip flexors, sacrum and tail, lumbar, yang channels, outer back side of legs, yin channels, inner front side. One more, qua, hip flexor, tail, lumbar, sweep and sweep. And then finally, we're going to only do the right arm a few times in a row. So sweep up the outer, turn the right arm palm up, sweep down the inner, and off. Do it again, same arm, up the outer to the shoulder, turn, down the inner and off. Turn, outer, turn, inner, off. Outer and inner, outer, inner, outer, inner. And the other arm, outer, turn, inner. Turn, go up the outer yang channels, down the yin and off the fingertips. Outer, inner. And shogun. And seal. 1, 2. 5 breaths here, doing nothing at all. Relax the shoulders, relax your elbows, head and neck loose, joints relaxed, knees bendable, ankles, knees, hips open, looseness, softness. And hopefully you recognize that you just did some foundational movements through space and execute a lot, and ideally you did a lot of that with soft power, without rigidity. So take the rest of your day as this obstacle course to see, can you remain relaxed in each little endeavor? You got to go to the bathroom, you got to sit down in your chair, you got to get up, you got to reach to get a teacup, you got to, whatever it may be, can you retain this idea that you can do it with softness? All righty, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great one. If there are any comments, questions, insights, please unmute yourself and share.
Thank you very much, Otto.
Thank you, Alexander. Good to see you.
See you.
Take care. Maureen, Janet, any questions? Nope. Okay. See you next time. Bye.